message me on IG, or if you message me on here, I will not respond. Okay, sure.
Taking up space,
Cool.
so this match is pointless because we matched, but I could send a message, but you're not gonna respond to me. And even if I then follow you on Instagram, send you a message on Instagram, you still might not respond.
Hey.
So you just got a new follower.
Oh, but you still want a follower on Instagram? That's all it is. Clout chasing.
Yeah, because her profile's private. So
Yeah, yeah.
Just private.
Private.
I want to see.
I want to message you though, and I can't message you until I have to wait now for you to accept my. Okay.
And she's gonna just
and she's gonna accept, but she's not gonna look at it. She's gonna do a mass acceptance of everybody just because she wants the followers. And you're like, you clout chaser. Okay.
I don't get it personally.
I don't either.
Are you a gamer by any chance?
No. I mean, I play with my little brother. I'm not a heavy gamer.
Fair dues.
I'm not. But do you have anything on
I play
gaming?
Fortnite.
Yeah, that's a big one, isn't it? Oh, actually, okay. The only knowledge I know about Fortnite, or the massive knowledge I know about Fortnite, is these Fortnite World Cups.
Yeah,
this
man,
randomness
dope.
of 13-year-olds getting how much money?
Hey man, it's
what?
dope. It's
Excuse
dope,
me?
The best thing about Fortnite, right, is let me give you the headlines, or the highlights for me personally.
Okay.
Highlight number one for me of Fortnite is still in early release, but the game's been out. People have been playing the game for at least 2-3 years now.
Yeah.
Game's still in early release.
Yeah.
Game's been out for people have been playing the Battle Royale
Yeah.
for 2-3 years. People have been playing the online one-player game for years now. I've got it as this game is still in early release. When are they releasing the thing, bro? Like you said, they've had Fortnite
Wait. It's still on beta version.
The game is still in early release. When you see the game loading, it still says early release in the corner. This is what I'm saying. They've had Fortnite.
But you know what? I actually take my hat off to them.
Yeah, it's
because the reason why I do is if you look at a different game like FIFA now, they've had FIFA 8, FIFA 9, FIFA 10, FIFA... And there's not that much difference. I mean, there's a couple two things that they've changed. But early release and you're getting that many people online and connecting, that is genius.
It's because they capitalized on the platforms. Basically, they made a game which is cross-platform.
Yeah.
There's not many games where I could be on my Xbox and play with someone on a PlayStation, or play with someone on the PC, or play with someone on Mac. We all be playing in the same game together. That doesn't happen in games. That's probably what brings together
more. That's
more.
one of the reasons.
Because it's a free-to-play game.
Yeah.
You don't need to pay for it.
No.
I mean, anyone can play it. Anyone can get the upgrades. It's all about... if you get an upgrade or a special skin, it doesn't change your character ability. It's just kind of to make your character look cool,
good,
or have a funny dance or a celebration, So it's all accessory based, which is.
But they're seeing it as business in the sense of especially going back to the World Cup. Is it called?
Yeah, I think it's
going back to the World Cup thing. It's you've got now 13-year-olds. Because I think that's the age limit, you have to be 13 and above.
Yeah.
You've got 13-year-olds treating it like a job. They are putting in the work to then get into these battle royales and these World Cup battles.
Hey man, the thing is, the joke is, back in the day when we were in school, people would joke when gaming consoles were first becoming big, and that people were like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this."
I'm gonna big one on this.
People would joke at you, be like, "Oh yeah, go on, play games for a living. You're gonna really make lots of money." These guys are playing games for a living and making bank. There's people who streaming their games. I thought that was a bizarre concept when it first came out. I was like, why would you wanna watch someone else play a game that you could just go out and purchase and play the game? But then after a while, I was just like, okay, cool. Now you could see different parts of the level that you didn't see that before, or someone might unlock a level that you couldn't unlock, and now you know how to do it, or it's just maybe you might not have the game yet, and you're kind of getting a proper tour of the game, whether do I actually want to get this game?
But you know what? The one thing I do tip my hat off to also the streamers, which I mean, it's very draining and tiresome to actually be alone in your room with a camera playing, with your in-game being captured, and you having to make it entertaining enough for people to keep coming back to watch you. You know. So the money they earn is justified. It's not unjustified.
No, of course it is.
But a lot of people will think, oh, anyone can do it. All I need to do is just sit in my house and...
Well, yeah, probably.
Stay up. But you need to be good at playing the game. Because nobody wants to see a loser.
It's true. You got to train hard. You got to put them hours in. Like
any job.
Yeah, it's like everything. Like any skill or craft that you have, put your 100 hours in and you'll make it happen.
But I'm a believer in if you've got a skill, if you've got a craft that you're really passionate about, and just go and do it. Go and capitalize on your, skills. Because a lot of people are thinking on how to, don't get me wrong, it's not a bad thing, but a lot of people are thinking on how to get into an industry which is already made, but they're not really thinking about how to make an industry or get in an industry that's not been made, that they can make for themselves and for other people around them which are like-minded.
Yeah, it's true. I will mention it only because I think it's just cool for anyone that plays GTA.
Yes.
So GTA Online right now, I think, let's get the exact dates for anyone that plays this game that's listening. So between this episode is coming out next week, so you're going to miss the first $1 million, in game.
$2 million, people. $1 million.
So the article reads that Rockstar Games are currently giving away $2 million in game for GTA Online. So they're giving away between January the 30th and the 5th of February, which is today. They're giving every single GTA Online player $1 million in-game money, and then between February the 6th and February the 13th, they'll be giving out the other $1 million.
Hey people, did you hear that date? February the 6th and February the 13th. Lucky for some, unlucky for others.
It's bad, it's mad.
That is mad. I might just download GTA for myself just to get $1 million. I mean, who wouldn't? In game or out of game, it's $1 million.
It's true. It's true. But I'll deal with that afterwards. I like to go on do random facts. I haven't done it for a while, but I thought I'd bring it back for this year since I've had time to do research and shit like that. So the random fact that I found, which was kind of bizarre, is kind of that Saudi Arabia and basically import camels from Australia.
What? Wait. Wait. Pause.
Yeah.
Pause.
Yeah.
From Australia. Down under.
Yeah.
And aren't Saudi Arabia known for
yeah, they are.
What?
So basically, here's the history, and that's why I found it so interesting. It was so bizarre and so interesting at the same time. So basically, camels were imported into Australia from British India and Afghanistan during the 19th century. But they were used basically for transportation and construction during the colonization of Australia. But then when the 20th century came, the kind of camel transport was kind of replaced by kind of motorized transport and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And since camels were no longer needed for transport and kind of construction anymore in Australia, they just let them go free.
Off. Let them go free.
Let them go free in Australia. Australia's huge, isn't it? They're just like, we
Fair
don't
enough.
need,
They did that with kangaroos, with the camels.
Just go run free. So then, obviously now, there's this huge herd of camels that run free in Australia. There's kind of, I think, over 1 million camels or so, and there was fear from whoever kind of regulates all this. There was fear that basically that maybe within the next 8 to 10 years that number was meant to not double or triple. It was meant to be crazy numbers. Like,
wow.
Because like apparently camels really thrive in Australia.
Interesting.
So now, across Saudi Arabia, Egypt, like Jordan, Cuba,
Middle East.
Yeah, the Middle East basically. Now they all import camels from Australia. Or Australia export camels over there.
What?
Because
I mean, like, it makes sense.
But the reason is because the camels that are used, that they have in the Middle East, they're mainly used for kind of camel racing.
Okay,
So because they're more domesticated and bred for racing.
For racing,
they're not really.
They're not for lifting and moving.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. I mean, it is the way of breeding, and it is the way of like how you raise any animal. What they will be able to do and not able to do. So it makes sense that they are actually importing it from Australia to there. But it's just weird. I always thought anyway that Saudi Arabia or even just the Middle East was very well known for camels.
Yeah, but they are. Originally they were there,
but they're known for camel racing. Rather than camel industry and other things.
Yeah, and I guess eating camel meat is kind of a delicacy in some places in the world.
Places, it is.
But yeah, it's crazy to think.
There's a lot of delicacies in the world that I couldn't even wrap my head around, but each to their own.
Yeah, so basically this backwards fact is Saudi Arabia now import camels from Australia, but they were originally exported from from the Middle East to Australia.
Pause. So wait. Let me get this right. So you're telling me that originally Australia imported them from.
It's the British when they were
colonized. British Empire.
Yeah.
The British Empire imported them from the Middle East
to Australia,
and now the Middle East are re-importing the CD drive back into the original PC. Back to what?
Yeah, bro.
Yo, okay, like that feels a little bit like, hey, you snatch it from us, we're gonna snatch it right back from you. Like,
it's crazy. But I mean, camels are thriving in Australia, and they're just kind of
needs have to meet demand. Yeah. That's the way I see it.
So any camel, most of the camels that you see in the Middle East are probably being exported from Australia.
Right. Which were originally
from the Middle
East. So that's basically going back home.
Yeah, pretty
They're
much.
being deported back home. Hey, no shame in that.
It's true. What time are we on? Cool. So now I'll give you a little interview.
That time?
Yeah,
okay,
right.
Sure.
So I don't know, it's just little few questions.
Whatever you want, I will answer.
So I'll start with this. I met you at the poetry event Poetical Words.
Indeed, in Hounslow Youth Centre.
Yeah. When did you first start performing?
That's a very good question, and I want to give your viewers a very accurate answer. So bear with me. But I will say this much, that I've been writing in general. I've been writing for about 9 years.
Okay.
But writing poetry, I think began about a year and a half ago. My very first performance, I remember it very well because I was very, very, very actually nervous to actually, so I no longer do this, but I try to cram a poem into my brain and basically wing it on stage, which it didn't end up badly, but it didn't end up as good as I would have wanted.
Yeah.
And the recording for that has been misplaced. It's gone. Which I'm actually sad about, because I really record all of my stuff, and not even just to post it just for me to have, because I'm a believer of recording and learning from your mistakes, and then just putting it out there to be like, a lot of people only, like, don't get me wrong, you want to be in the best light, but for me, I want to be in every light and show that, look, I'm a real person, I mess up too, and it's cool. But that very first performance was the 7th of August, 2019.
So you only started writing poetry a year ago.
Yeah.